Assalamualaikum, welcome back to my video. Now let's talk about the main type of inhibition. It can be divided into three types. Number one, competitive reversible inhibition. Number two, non-competitive reversible inhibition. Number three, non-competitive irreversible inhibition. Let's discuss on competitive inhibition first. Competitive inhibition occurs when the binding of inhibitor prevents the binding of substrate at the active site of enzyme. It means that the substrate competes with the competitive inhibitors for the same active site of enzyme. Why is this happen? It could be because the inhibitors mimics the substrate. Thus, the inhibitors blocks the substrate from react with the enzyme. So, is it reversible or irreversible inhibition? It is considered as reversible inhibition because the binding of inhibitor to the enzyme is only temporary, so inhibitor breaks up from the enzyme. Competitive inhibitors can be overcome by increasing substrate concentration so that substrate have increased chance for colliding with the enzyme instead of the inhibitor. While non-competitive inhibition, as its name suggests, it does not compete with the substrate for the same active site of enzyme because competitive inhibitors has a different structure to the substrate. However, it attaches at the allosteric site of enzyme. Once it attaches at the allosteric site of enzyme, the shape of enzyme as well as the active site of enzyme change. So, inhibitors block the substrate from react with the enzyme. It is reversible inhibition. There is no competition involved between inhibitor and substrate. And non-competitive inhibitors cannot be overcome by increasing substrate concentration. So, the last one is the non-competitive irreversible inhibition. Non-competitive irreversible inhibitor forms a strong covalent bond with an enzyme. It also attaches at the allosteric site of enzyme. Once it attaches at the allosteric site of enzyme, it changes the shape of enzyme as well as the active site of enzyme. It is irreversible inhibition. The reaction causes permanently damage to the enzyme structure and cannot be reversed. Thus, inhibitors blocks the substrate from react with the enzyme. Non-competitive irreversible inhibitors cannot be overcome by increasing substrate concentration. Examples of non-competitive irreversible inhibition like arsenic, drug, and insecticide. Now, let's summarize. Inhibitors can be divided into two types of bond, reversible or irreversible, and it has three main types, which is competitive inhibition, non-competitive inhibition, and irreversible inhibition.